Good morning. Today we are discussed about normal forms. Yesterday two topics that is covered: normalization and first normal form. Then we are going to discuss about a second normal form and third normal form and BCNO. What is the second normal form? Before we are going to discuss about a second normal form, then what are the first normal form? As an entity is in the first normal form if it contains no repeating groups. In relational terms, as a table in the form of first normal form, if it contains no repeating columns makes your data less flexible, waste disk space, and makes it more difficult to search for data. They have 4 general points. It should be only have single atomic valued attributes or columns. Values stored in columns should be the same domain. All the columns is in a table should have unique names, and the order in which data is stored does not matter. In second normal form, a relation is in second normal form if it is in first normal form, and every non-key attribute is fully dependent on each candidate key of the relation. A relation is in first normal form satisfy all the rules in second normal form. A relation is in a second normal form if it is in first normal form, and even non-key attributes is fully dependent on each candidate key of the relation. For the table to be in the second normal form, we are discussing in the table and second normal form, it should be in the first normal form. If any table then goes to the second normal form, it should be first normal form, and it should not have partial dependencies. It is the first condition is that it should be first normal form, and the second condition is that it should not have any partial dependency. These two conditions are satisfied, then it is known as a second normal form. For example, considering the table of second normal form, the following is second normal form is not. Why you are discussing that one? You have 4 columns, that is atomic values. All are the all values to be filled. Okay, column should be the same domain. The two conditions to be ordered. Okay, what is the first column? Order. Second column is the customer. Third column is the contact person. Fourth column is the total. What is the order? 1, 2, 3, 4. These are columns of tuples in first column. తర్వాత కస్టమర్ రిషబ్ ప్రీతి etc. in these columns to be customers. Contact person Manish, Rosh, Manish, etc. These are some columns, and the total values of that particular one is a second normal form, is not second form. Okay. Then the second normal form, when it is to be second normal form, now you are discussing the first normal form table to be second normal form. In second normal form, in the table above, the order number serves as the primary key. Notice that the customer and total amount are dependent upon the order number. This data is specific to each order. However, the contact person is dependent upon the customer. An alternative way to accomplish this would be to create 2 tables. In the above table, the order number serves as the primary key. Notice that the customer and total amount are dependent upon the order number. This data is specific to each order. However, the contact person is dependent upon the customer. An alternative way To accomplish this would be to create two tables. To create two tables, customer, that is the two columns, customer and contact person, Rishabh, Preeti, Manish and Roshan. Here we have a different. Second table is the order, customer and total. These are different values. The creation of two separate tables eliminate the dependency problem. In the first table, contact person is dependent upon the primary key. In the first table, contact person should be in the first table. Contact person is dependent upon the primary key, that is the customer name. The second table only includes the information unique to each order. Someone interested in the contact person for each order could obtain this information by performing a join operations. From in a join operations. In a join operations. Based on that two columns, the creation of two tables eliminate the dependency problem in the first normal form. That first table, contact person is dependent upon the primary key. Customer name, the second table only includes the information unique to each order. Someone interested in the contact person for each order could obtain this information by performing a join operation. Then here they go to the third normal form. In third normal form, a relation is in the third normal form if it is in second normal form, and every non-key attribute of the relation is a non-transitive dependent on each candidate key of a relation. A relation is in third normal form if it is in second normal form, and every non-key attribute of the relation is non-transitively dependent on each candidate key of the relation. A table is said to be in the third normal form. A table is said to be in the third normal form when it is in the second normal form. Then you are go to the third normal form. It is in the second normal form and it does not have transitive dependency. It does not have transitive dependency. It is in the second normal form and it does not have transitive dependency. When you are discussing non-transitive dependency from this FD, that means that is a functional dependency. We may derive A to C. This dependency A to C is transitive, and B and A and B, let A and B see three attributes of a relation. For a relation are such that, example, you consider three columns on that particular table, three tuples, that means rows, but you have in four columns. Company the first column, city is the second column, state is the third, and the zip is the fourth one. In first column you have three tuples: ABC Limited, that is the company name of column. The above table is not in the third normal form. The three values is not in normal form. ABC Limited, that is belongs to company column, city column, and state and zip columns. These are four in different columns. The above table is not in the third normal form. In this example, the city and the state are dependent upon the zip code. The city and the state are dependent on zip code. The zip code is the base of all that particular column. To place this table in the third normal form, two separate tables should be created. Then the table 10 be converted into two tables, one containing the company name and zip one is the company name and the zip code. That means zip code means that zip name means that zip code, and the other containing the city, state, zip code, city, state and zip code. There are three columns. One is the two columns table, another one is the three columns table. One is the two columns table, second one is the three columns table. Company, that is the two columns, column 1, column 2, company, and a zip ABC Limited, that 10169 XYZ Limited. This may seem overly complex for daily applications, and indeed it may be. Database designers should have always keep in mind the trade-offs between higher level normal forms and the resource issues that complex creates. Resource complexities. Boycott and normal form, that is then go to the discussing boycott and normal form. Boycott normal form BCNF, that is the BCNF normal form. A boycott normal form is a higher version of the third normal form. This is form deals with the obtained type of anomalies that is not handled by 3NF. A 3NF table which does not have multiple overlapping candidate keys is said to be BCNF. For a table to be in the BCNF, following conditions must be satisfied. R must be in the third normal form. For each functional dependency, X functional dependency Y, X should be the super key. A relation in boycott normal form from BCNF, that is a BCNF, if every determinant is a candidate key, the links in the B 3NF allows this dependency in a relation if B is a primary key attribute and A is not a candidate key. The difference between 3NF and BCNF is that form for functional dependency A, whereas BCNF insists that for the dependency to remain in a relation, A must be candidate key. An example of client interview: client number, interview date, interview time, staff number, room. This is the client interview of in particular table. Client interview of in particular table. In this one, CR76, CR76, CR74, CR56. In client column you have a 4 rows, but you have a one is the duplicate value. In interview time also 13 May 11, 13 May 11, 13 May 11, 2nd July 2011. Interview time is the 10:30, 12, 12, 10:30. Staff number SG5, SG5, SG37, SG5. Room number G101, G101, G102, G102, etc. for giving that particular ways. In a particular manner, on particular table you have discussed the FD1, that is the client number. Interview date tends to interview time, staff number, room number, that is the primary key. Room number is the primary key. FD2 functional dependence to staff number, interview date, interview time tends to client number. Here client number is a candidate key. Functional dependence 3 room number, interview date, interview time tends to client number, staff number. Here candidate is key is the staff number. Functional dependency 4 staff number, interview date tends to room number, not a candidate key. As a consequence, the client interview relation may suffer from update anomalies. To transform the client interview relation to BCNF, we must remove the violating functional dependency by creating two new relations called interview and staff rooms as shown below. Interview is the client number, interview date, interview time, staff number. Staff room, staff number, interview date, room number, etc. These are some functional dependencies on that one. In interview table, you can see how many columns you have. 4 columns on that: client number, interview date, interview time, and staff number. And staff room, staff number, interview date, room number. And these 3 particular columns to be BCNF interview and staff room relations. An entity is in the 4th normal form when it meets the requirement of beginning in the third normal form and additionally has no multiple sets of multi-value dependencies. In other words, 4NF states that no entity can have more than single one-to-many relationship with an entity if the one-to-many attributes are independent of each other. Many relationships are resolved independently. Based on that 4th normal form, an entity in the 4th normal form, when it meets the requirement of being in third normal form and additionally has no multiple sets of multiple value dependence. In other words, 4 normal form states that no entity can have more than single one-to-many relationship with an entity if the one-to-many attributes are independent for each attributes. These are total 4 normal forms. That is the 1 normal form, 2nd normal form, 3rd normal form, BCNF, and more flexibility on BCNF, and then go for 4th normal form. These these 4 normal forms we are giving that normalization. It is a very important topic on data normalization. The words normalization, normal form refer to structure of database. Normalization was developed by Dr. E.F. Codd in 1970s. Normalization increased clarity in organizing databases. By using that normalization, purpose of data normalization is used by mainly 2 purposes: eliminating the redundant and useless data, ensuring data dependency makes sense, that is, data is logically stored on particular data. That logical relation of entity relationship. What is the normalization? Avoids duplication of data, insert anomaly, delete anomaly, update anomaly. Rules for data normalization. Rules for this normalization process. In the first normal form, second normal form very easy, but then go to the third normal form. A relation is in third normal form if it is in second normal. It means that belongs to third normal form. Definitely it is completed the completion of all second normal form rules. A relation is in third normal form if it is in second normal form, and every non-key attributes of the relation is a non-transitive dependent on each candidate of the key. Each candidate of the key. If it is the second normal form, it does not have transitive dependency in the third normal form. In boycott normal form is a higher version of the third normal form. This form deals with certain type of anomaly that is not handled by 3NF. A 3NF tables which does not have multiple overlapping candidate key is said to be BCNF. For a table to be BCNF, the following conditions must be satisfied. R must be third normal form. For each function dependency X, Y, X should be the sobriquet. Then we can go to the next topic in the next class. Thank you.